everyone, welcome to Madeline Makes. My name is Madeline and I like to make things. Usually that's baking or cooking of some kind, but sometimes it's crafting, sometimes it's, it could be anything. I like to let creative freedom take over and try creative things every once in a while, and I thought I'd make a channel talking about the kind of stuff I like to make. And today we are making strawberry shortcake. Yeah. Woohoo. So a little bit about me, I am actually venturing off into the world of gluten-free baking, which is kind of a beast in and of itself. Baking has been something I've loved for quite a few years now, but it wasn't until recently that some health reasons have caused me to adopt a gluten-free diet, at least for the time being. But you know, the worst part about a gluten-free diet, at least for me, is that I feel a lot better. So this is actually probably something that's gonna have a long-term implementation in my life. But at first I thought that meant I would have to step away from my love of baking. But as the initial kind of shock, I guess, has worn off, I've really gotten back into baking and made gluten-free baking a part of that. So today I thought I would start with a pretty simple recipe, and that's for a strawberry shortcake. It's currently spring, even though it is a bit cold today. But it's springtime, and with spring comes fruit and freshness and flavors that I absolutely love. I figured strawberry shortcake would be a great way to start off because I found a recipe that just uses gluten-free flour. Oftentimes when you're baking gluten-free, you need to have a combination of different flours and starches and things like that, particularly when it comes to bread. But I thought I'd start off with something easy, and I'm just using 1-to-1 baking flour and making a strawberry shortcake in which the sweetness of the strawberries and the freshness of that will really shine. I also recently came across at HomeGoods some vanilla bean paste. This has been an ingredient I've been itching to try. I love vanilla, particularly vanilla bean, and this is an ingredient that is often pretty expensive. We got it at HomeGoods, so it was a little bit reduced. It was still kind of expensive, but that's okay. And today I will be making the whipped cream that's going to go on top of my strawberry shortcake with the vanilla bean paste. When using vanilla bean paste, you want to use it where vanilla is really going to shine. You can technically use it anywhere that you would normally use vanilla extract, but the flavor is much more pure in terms of the vanilla flavor. For the whipped cream, one of the hacks that I've always used is about 10 minutes before I start whipping, I place the bowl and the whisk that I'll be using in the freezer. This just helps keep the whipped cream really smooth, as it's not a cold liquid going into a warm bowl. And you want the cream to stay cold. It'll whip up really nicely, and that's what I did here. I was really excited to try out these silicone cupcake holders. They're more sustainable. They're not super practical in terms of taking cupcakes to like a party, because then you have to like chase people down for their wrappers afterwards. But I figured for a home baking project like this would be the perfect use. And I found them to be pretty good. You could tell the difference between the ones that were baked in the silicone and the ones that were not. The criticism I have for this particular baking project was that the ones that were baked in the silicone baking cups were a lot smaller at their base than the ones that were baked in just the cupcake tin. And that's simply because I think the silicone cupcake wrappers that I have are quite small. But I would definitely use these in the future. I definitely noticed an impact on the baking in terms of the rise and the coloring. So in the future, that may be a great thing to keep in mind for cupcakes if I want to prevent browning. Okay, our shortcakes have cooled, our whipped cream is whipped, and our strawberries have chilled. Let's assemble. Okay, so this is the one that wasn't in the silicone mold, and while it is browned on the outside, whereas the silicone wrapped ones are not, the bottom is much bigger. Not really a good thing or a bad thing, just is. I think for the purposes of assembling, especially for aesthetic reasons, it'll be nicer to have the larger surface area. So I started off today with a really simple recipe. Simple recipes doesn't mean that they're not delicious or enjoyable to make. I certainly had a great time making this recipe and trying out new ingredients and techniques. So I'm really excited to see what comes next. If there's anything you'd like to see me bake, let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, like it, and if you want to see more, subscribe. All right. That looks decadent and beautiful. All homemade and gluten-free, which is great. There you go. That looks like something out of like Southern Living magazine. It looks indulgent and sweet and summery. Oh, and it fell over. Anyway, let's eat it. Get strawberries, get cream. It's so good. The whipped cream is not too sweet. The vanilla really comes out. I think what the best thing about this is that everything complements each other. It's not overwhelmingly sweet. The strawberries are sweet on their own because they're sweet. The whipped cream is creamy and vanilla-y, which just complements the natural sweetness of the fruit. It's just super well balanced and really refreshing. Well, I'm gonna continue eating this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I'm enjoying trying out gluten-free baking, and I absolutely love trying out fresh ingredients and new ingredients as well. I was really excited to try out vanilla bean paste as opposed to vanilla extract. So this was overall a really exciting bake for me. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you'll come back for the next video. Thanks.